This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. Netflix just dropped the trailer for part 2 of the train wreck that is With Love, Meghan. And it's the same old snooze fest you probably would expect. At the time of this recording, it has been 5 hours and clearly not off to a good start with almost 5,000 dislikes and almost 2,000 negative comments. But mark your calendars for August 26th to watch anything else but this crap. Just leave it to the YouTubers and the media to tearing it apart. Now, why Netflix keeps shoving this brain-dead drivel down its subscribers' throat is beyond me. But for now, what I can see is that it is more of the same beige, boring crap. But this time, Meghan shows us a new skill in the kitchen. Slicing bread, folks. Yes, you heard me. She's slicing bread, but it's not just regular bread. Meghan elevates this. She's slicing rustic bread. I mean, how are we going to be able to sleep for the next week? With this go-around of With Love, Meghan, it's as bleak as ever. But to keep us awake, Meghan is tossing in some arts and crafts now with her do-it-all edible flowers. I mean, Meghan's really peddling these edible flowers. Not only is she sprinkling it on food, but now she's putting it in arts and crafts with Chrissy Teigen. I mean, everything is just such a mess. Like, to promote something that's not even available on her stupid as ever whatever website is kind of stupid now. So, like, for this second season, and hopefully it's the final season, Meghan has back her paid makeup artist, Daniel Martin, and now, this time around, her paid Pilates teacher, Heather Dorak. Other faces that pop up are celebrity chef Jose Andres, Buzz Lightyear, and the all-star bully Chrissy Teigen, which I think is probably the highlight of the series, sad to say. The With Love, Meghan Season 2 or second half trailer is predictably missing not only these phantom children, but also Doria. Marcus Anderson, her so-called bestie, he seems to have bailed after the mockumentary disaster in 2022. Instead, we're stuck with a lineup of randoms. I have no clue who these people are, and frankly, I couldn't care less. Just more of Meghan's handpicked Montecito props, hoping to make her look good. But I don't think it's going to work. But let's talk about the real entertainment from this trailer. The comments. They are literally comedy gold, outshining Meghan's no-talent spectacle by a mile. And the best part? It's the army of witty, sharp, and brutally honest people in the space who take Meghan's attempt to rebrand herself as this so-called Sally Homemaker and roast her into oblivion. Let's take a look at what some of these comments say. Up first, Unbox It with Maureen says, "What did I just watch? Absolutely horrible." I agree with you, Maureen. It's painful. Abundantly Inspired says, "Please stop showing us how much you care. Please. Care less. We can't take it anymore." Frumpy Poodle says, "Cutting bread. Full body chills. Mind-blowing." Zoe Esther 84 responds, "I see what you did there. Jamie Curran Lima." Pedoff 5519 writes, "Just came to leave my dislike. I'll be on my way now." KR882 says, "We all love a bit of rubbernecking old chicken legs." KBA-R1X says, "Let's see what other snacks she transfers into plastic bags." Yeah, I really love to see how Meghan handles Cheetos. Perhaps maybe she gives her guests those little wet wipes to elevate it. Rose OD7LR says, "In all this, Harry is the biggest joke for letting this social climber, influencer wannabe ruin his life. No sympathy for him, though. He's vile himself." Yeah, I think many of us would agree. Marco Cunio 2619 says, "Netflix, what did we do to you? Why do you hate us so much? Season 2? It's a disaster." Gosh, look at how intense Meghan stares at people. Totally creepy. FC4660 says, I wonder why she's gone for the homemaker moniker when she's supposedly been all about lifting women up and making our mark. Really? Back to the kitchen? Exactly. The one and only time that Meghan Markle has ever told the truth was when she said that she was a fraud. Countess Calthorpe says, here we go again. Season 1, round 2 of the greatest mind suck of all time. Should come with a mental health warning. Watch at the risk of losing your freaking mind. Illustrated Journalist says, are you kidding? A show named With Love, starring 2 bullies? When is this nonsense going to end? Please. You almost have to wonder, what does Meghan have on Netflix to keep this crap around? It's almost like these executives know how awful this is, but enjoy torturing the public. Now, this one, Kimberly Faust 4992, I think speaks for all of America. She writes, why do you keep trying to shove this family-hating woman down America's throat? For the love of God, enough. She is why I unsubscribe from Netflix. I hope she markles you good. Enjoy. Peace Beats Drama says, slopping the knob of an effeminate ginger prince doesn't make one interesting. Or intelligent, obviously. Miriam Benali 3328 says, Netflix is only relying on hate watching of Migraine Markle to boost its views number, the buzz of parodies. They know she's a mess, a disaster, a talentless D-lister. Whatever. People will talk en masse about how bad it is. That's what matters. You know, I think one of the reasons why Netflix is hanging on to Meghan Markle is because I think they smell that a divorce is on its way. And I would think that Netflix would want to be first in line to take something out of that, whether it be a documentary or sit down with Meghan, but they want something out of it. And I think that they're placing their bets that if they do divorce, then her story will go to them. I think Meghan would screw Netflix over, especially if, let's say, Hulu or Amazon decides to give them more money. Meghan has no loyalty to anybody but herself. Pleasure O'Reilly says, Dear Netflix, thank you for investing millions into With Love Meghan Season 2, a masterclass in how to turn flower arrangements without instructions and recipes without ingredients into, well, nothing. Throwing Chrissy Teigen for twice the attitude, and you've officially created the Mean Girls of lifestyle shows without the mean being funny or the girls being likable. Sincerely, a subscriber who'd prefer actual content. Kristen Dookie 2697 says, Chrissy Teigen brought this on herself. She tried to delete and scrub her past clean, and all it took to bring it up again was Meghan Markle. It's true. It's true because Chrissy Teigen back in the day was such a bully to people online, especially at the time, I think, Courtney Stodden, who was 16. She was bullying this poor girl for dating a much older man and, pretty much told her to unalive herself. I mean, it was pretty bad. And here Meghan is teaming up with Chrissy Teigen and Meghan promoting her online safety and keeping children safe from bullies. And here she is welcoming in a woman who bullied a 16-year-old online, telling her to go and unalive herself. Now, this comment wins the internet for today. E. Smith 6656 says, I'm going to urgent care. I just vomited. Elfrosine Aurelia 11 says, Meghan Markle has shown a repeated pattern of disrespect and alleged bullying. Multiple former Kensington Palace staff reportedly left after being reduced to tears, according to a formal complaint by Jason Knopf. She mocked the Queen in a Netflix scene by ridiculing her first curtsy. She and Harry proceeded with the Oprah interview while Prince Philip was gravely ill. She made public accusations against the monarchy while the late Queen's health was failing. She remains estranged from her father, Thomas Markle Sr., who now lives in poverty. And she's working with Chrissy Teigen, another public figure accused of serious bullying. These are documented incidents, not opinions, and they show a clear pattern of behavior. Why glorify bullying behavior? Normalize that behavior. That society rewards bullying. Do better, Netflix. The unfortunate thing here is that Netflix doesn't care what any of its viewers or customers think. They're going to push this garbage onto the masses because a lot of what they're pushing now is pure propaganda. Meghan Markle is part of that whole engine of propaganda. Of course, Netflix knows that Meghan is unpopular. Of course, they know that she's a bully. Of course, they know that she's a hypocrite, a fraud, and she's tied to the royal family. Bottom line is that's the only value that this D-lister nobody has to the company. That's it. And even that doesn't hold any kind of real weight anymore in the United States. We really can't stand here, but understand that Netflix is playing a role in indoctrinating the masses when it comes to pushing ideologies. I mean, Barack Obama and Susan Rice are involved with this company. Need I say any more? No. Birds of a feather, birds of a feather. Clee2598 says, Netflix is Meghan Markle's business partner to sell us her overpriced jam that isn't jam. FDA says it doesn't qualify as jam because it has lemon juice added, which makes it a runny spread. Netflix and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and as ever, Scam-a-Lot. Cinda720 says, two devil's minions, Markle and Tegan. Great choice, Netflix. Now, there are a lot of brutal comments also about Chrissy Teigen, not only being a bully, but also her fixation with children. Now, I'm not going to talk about that because I really don't want this video to be restricted, even though we know that it will be. Just know that Chrissy's also getting roasted pretty badly. Pastiche Homage says, upon first look, one is curious to ask, will you and Miss Chrissy be swapping ways to bully folks? And I see you feature that whiny hairdresser. Again? Yikes. How utterly Dullsville, bland, and laughable. Of course Aish is missing. Oh, and call your father, Markle, you heartless, hypocritical cow. Tuxedo's Revenge says, I wonder how the Parents Network feels about her having Chrissy Teigen on, who bullied a woman on Twitter and intimated she commit unaliving herself. I have no doubt that when this airs, there's going to be some heavy gaslighting going on. These two know what they are. It says, Beverly Tide 5710, for a company that likes employing bullies, Megsy and Chrissy, why not get Ellen back for the full set? Won't be subscribing if this is the crap you stream. I'm very satisfied with Paramount. They don't show fake empathy and bad acting. For F's sake, the only real acting job she ever had was Suits, and that only added up to 1 hour and 48 minutes of screen time before being written out. Burn. Says here, the Alex Serp. Chrissy Teigen is a known child predator. Guess that's the club Meghan's in. Yeah, birds of a feather, birds of a feather. Tom Ripley, 7350, says, Hey, Meghan. Chrissy's way of showing up lovingly was telling a vulnerable girl on the internet to take a dirt nap and disturbing tweets about children. You know what they say, you are the company you keep. Now, even though this comment is brutal, he's not wrong.
Who doesn't like lobster?
Who?
My husband.
And you marry him? Anyway.
Final comment by A Safe Place PH from the clip that you just saw. And you marry him? Yes, because he has the titles and afforded her everything she has now. And that is spot on. Meghan will never admit that she owes all of this to what she calls that family. See, the problem that we have is that the elites can't read the room. And when you see numbers like this, as I'm wrapping up this video a couple hours later, we're up to 8,000 dislikes on the trailer alone. Come on, Netflix, read the room. Seriously, stop forcing this woman onto the public. We're never going to like her. She's not a likable person. Just stop. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. I'm going to close out with Rob D72 UK. Cannot press the dislike button quick enough, and I couldn't agree with you more. If you guys do go watch that trailer, you know what to do. Now, before I go, just so we could be balanced, yes, there were some sugar comments. I mean, very few. I had to dig through to find one. And here is that one. As you can see here, it says, to the Netflix, to watch this most awaited movie. It's going to be the greatest show ever, and I can't wait to see the haters and trolls going to mental health facilities over it. Ha ha ha. They envy her because she is in front of them, and they are in distress because they can't catch up with her. These are the people that are being hired to do this for Meghan. They can barely write. They probably can't speak English well. Everything is such a hot mess with this woman. Like, this is going to be no different. But what do you guys think? I know many of you are so sick to death of seeing her and probably will wait for the YouTubers and the tabloids to report on it. And that's because it's more entertaining. I mean, Meghan's like watching paint dry on a wall. It's so awful. It truly is. But anyhow, let me know what you think. Definitely leave your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Such a fraud.